Kevin Acee earlier today dropped this on Tommy Pham's future. Take a listen.
The potential free agent outfielders that would make some sense. There's a couple of former Padres that are out there, whether it's Profar or AJ Preeller's favorite guy, Tommy Pham.
I think Tommy Pham makes a lot of sense. It's just what is his, playoffs helped him. But there's, Tommy's lot in life is basically to wait till spring training and sign the 1 year or 2 year deal. And, he generally gets more than what the Padres probably are willing to pay for an outfielder. And so maybe not. I know that Tommy would love to come back. I know that AJ Preller loves him. He really does. I know the guys in the clubhouse really like him. I think Tommy Pham is someone that perennially, actually, for the last couple of years, the Padres have kept an eye on Tommy Pham's market, and that they are now. It's not going to be. Look, I think there's a fairly good chance Jose Azocar is playing the outfield fairly regularly.
That's also a pretty interesting note that he snuck in there at the end about Azocar.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
I definitely did not hear that.
Right.
It was something that also raised my eyebrows.
Right, he's the one that's actually here, where Pham is more the maybe he wants to be here.
Yeah, he currently is on the Padres active roster.
Right.
And it's likely that we'll see a lot of Jose Azocar this season, for better or for worse. But the main thing there is, and like I said in the fusion with Jack, we've known that there is this, relationship with Preller and Tommy, and how much the Padres and Preller like Tommy Pham. It didn't work here the first time around. There were a lot of things that happened that did not go right. The incident in Chicago, 2020, it was a tough year for him because he got COVID. So he didn't really play much. And the following year, he was recovering from a major injury. So I think that had to play a factor in his down year and his lack of, performance with the Padres. But if you look at what he's done the last couple of years, with New York last year and then going to Arizona, helping them get to a World Series, if you get a healthy version of Tommy Pham and we're not dealing with, the COVID year and then him coming off of a major back injury, sign me up right now.
There's a big but.
But
it's the word if.
Yeah.
Here's the deal with Pham. I think he is I think he's misunderstood. I was not enamored with him in San Diego. I do understand he's been on a lot of winning teams. He's well respected in the clubhouse. I will absolutely give him that.
Wasn't he with Mike Schilt while they were? No, he was not.
They've got a very good relationship.
My question was, when did he play for St. Louis? And was Mike Schilt the manager there?
He was in St. Louis as recently as 2018, which means he played for Schilt. We're just question marking that. Does someone know? Did he play for Schilt? 70470, start with team, or put it in the chat. He must have.
I'm pretty sure
he must have.
Did.
But they have to have a relationship because he was in the organization all those years.
Yeah. So he's had to have seen. Yeah.
So we'll figure that out. But here's the issue, Jim. And this is like the dirty little secret. It wasn't just a San Diego time where he wasn't great. Now, I'll give you some of the injuries. I'll give it all to you. That's fine. But then how do we explain 2022 when his OPS was under 700? And yes, Arizona made their run after the trade, and Pham deserves credit for that. And it was a really good pickup. And this guy's batting like cleanup or batting third in the World Series. It's unbelievable.
He's hitting home runs in the World Series.
In 50 games of the Diamondbacks, a good hitter's yard, his OPS was 720 in the regular season. It was 820 with the Mets. So I'm telling you, from 2020 on, he's had a half season. His 820 with the Mets is a legitimately good productivity out of an outfielder. Everything else, Jim, is a 700 OPS for years. Am I going to give that guy, because he's a good clubhouse guy and Preller's got a good relationship with him, $14 million? When that's all I have.
All right, let's weigh the options here.
Okay. What do you have, Brent?
All right, real quick, you're wondering about Schilt and Pham. In 2018, Schilt coached 69 games and Pham played 98 for the Cardinals that year.
So he managed them.
He managed them a little bit.
Okay, thank you, Brent.
All right, let's weigh the options here. First option, you sign Tommy Pham, but you have to give him, let's just go $14 million. And you
14 million.
You have 20, let's say you have 20 million left to spend total before you like cut it off. And
20 minus 14 now in this hypothetical?
Correct.
I don't have 20 left over. I now have 6 if I use 14 of my 20.
Oh, correct. Of the 20 million you have to spend,
I'm
you
with
spend
you.
14 on Tommy Pham, 1 year deal.
Okay.
Okay. And you have 6 million left to potentially find another starter or outfield or bench or whatever, whatever the case may be. DH, whatever case may be. Okay. Or you do not spend that 14 million on Tommy Pham. And you maybe pick up 2 other pieces, not like of big significance, like the Wandy Peralta types, right? For like 10 million or 12 million. And then for the outfield, you have to go within your system. And right now, the system, if you look at it for the outfield, isn't that great.
I'm with you. I think you're a year away from that, like paying dividends.
Potentially.
Or more, 2 years, a year to 2.
Maybe more.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know what they're going to look like. So, okay. So you're saying
what's a better option to win right now?
70470 started with team or 877-767-4760. You won't like this. It's not, and it's honestly not to play devil's advocate, but like you have needs. So fill the needs. You aren't a player away. Tommy Pham having a 750 OPS and playing 150 games for the Padres in 2024 is nice. But what would also be nice is to spend some of that money on starting pitching, get someone that can give me 130 innings and get someone that can hit 250 and play left field and not hit for power. Is it that far off from Tommy Pham? So it's like, I could go both ways with it. I'm not overly convinced Tommy Pham in this hitter's graveyard is going to resurrect his career and be worth that type of investment. Now, can you do it for less? He made 8 last year and had a good year. He's going to get more.
You could do it. Maybe you do it for 9 or 10, maybe, or whatever, 7, 8. I don't know.
And maybe that's what he wants to do. Maybe he'd prefer 9 here to 10 somewhere else. That's not a huge variation. But I'm not. What Kevin said makes a lot of sense until like you put the pen on the paper. Can they meet?
Well, what makes more sense? Tommy Pham, who you kind of know what you're going to get from him, but he also is a veteran. He brings an edge that
maybe they need.
Maybe this team would have loved to have last year because a lot of players just quit and the egos in the room, and it was a disaster in that clubhouse, and there was nobody in there to really ring it in. I'm not saying Tommy Pham would have been that guy. Maybe he wouldn't have been that guy. Maybe he would have made things worse. I don't know. But
2021.
Again,
it's not his fault that they didn't play well.
He was here, and he was with the collapse. He's already seen a pitching. Collapse. Exactly. Yeah. And he didn't deal with like watching Vince Velasquez on the mound. And I still think that injury that he had for his back played a huge role.
I probably.
Or do you want to have like, I don't know, an outfield of Jose Azocar, Jacob Marcy, and Fernando Tatis Jr.
Right. You're saying that variation, that difference, is it worth using your money on Pham? Because you're saying that's a big drop.
That's a wide gap for me. That's a wide gap. Now, if Jacob Marcy was like, all you heard was, dude, get ready for this guy. Like, get ready. He is ready to play the outfield. Then I would feel different about it. But I mean, you look at Jacob Marcy and you look at the other options they have in the outfield, some of their non-roster invites to spring training. Nothing stands out to me.
I agree with that.
And I don't think it stands out to a lot of people either. I mean, you can be hopeful for sure. But I mean, once we talked about this today on the wrap-up show, you are going to see a lot of young players in spring training busting their ass
to make the team,
to try to make this, big league club. And you're going to see guys that are going to do well. They just are.
Of course they will.
It's just what happens. And maybe hypothetically, Jacob Marcy has a kind of a breakout spring training. And guess what? He makes the major league roster. Everyone's excited. But you know what the big difference between spring training and the big leagues regular season is?
What's that, Jim?
That would be that it's 162 games and it's his first time in the big leagues. He'll be a rookie facing like legit major league pitching every single day.
Every day.
And not playing every day or playing every day and having that wear down on him. And what's he going to do when he has his first 2 for 30 slump?
Okay. Zocar is playing 150 games or whatever it is. But is it also an upgrade if you could add like a Alek Manoah type via trade or a Michael Lorenzen type via free agency? We'll see about like a Lauer, or that's a step below, in my opinion. But if you could add Manoah or you could add Pham, or you could add Lorenzen, or you could add Pham. Like, what's more impactful? Getting a guy to make 25 to 30 starts or pitching Pedro Avila every fifth or sixth day?
If you can get Lorenzen for...
It's not dirt cheap,
not
right?
Yeah, but I'm just saying...
Same price as Pham.
All right, take the money out, John.
Okay.
Take this...
Lorenzen or Pham?
Take this money issue out.
Mm-hmm.
And the Padres signed Tommy Pham to a 1-year, $12 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
Would you complain about it?
No, if the money wasn't part of it.
Like, if we're not worried about him getting 12 or 13 million
I
dollars.
I wouldn't. Now, would I critique it?
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be fair to say, listen, the guy's had a half season in 4 years. That's what I would say. I wouldn't say you've overpaid for him, but I would say he better produce.
So basically the reason why we are, or you or whoever else may be pushing back on signing Tommy Pham, which could cost, we don't know, but could cost between 10 and 14 million because he made 8 million last year.
Should cost that.
The reason why we're pushing back on it would be just strictly money.
Yeah. Why don't here? Okay. It's kissing your sister. Do you have a sister?
No.
Neither do I. But here's like the gentleman's agreement or whatever the term is. Just sign Jurickson Profar and be done with it.
True.
Add Profar and get a pitcher. Like, okay, Pham's better than Profar. I agree. But Pham costs 3 times the amount. So are we going to spend $3 million on Jurickson Profar or 4 times more on Tommy Pham? And is he worth 4 times more money than Jurickson Profar? I don't know. Maybe he is. But if you don't have money, then I'm trying to cross off multiple boxes. I'm trying to check multiple boxes. I don't have one need. I have needs.
I completely agree with you.
That's the problem that they're in.
It's just, you think that they're going to have to at least sign another major leaguer or make a move, a trade for a major leaguer.
Completely.
Because Kevin talked about it today with Jack and Marty. Like, he would be shocked, and I think we would be as well, if this team did not make a significant trade. And by significant, I mean for major league starter for the big league club.
Yeah.
That would be ready to go this upcoming year, put him in the lineup right now, be in the outfield. If they don't do that, I think everybody would be very, very, very surprised.
Yeah, I agree.
And
we've heard Kevin say it. We've heard Dennis say it.
So which route are they going to go? Are they going to, a guy like Tommy Pham, who we know AJ Preller likes a lot, a guy like Jurickson Profar, who we know definitely would get along with the clubhouse, and they, been here before, had success here before. Are you going to go that route, or are you going to go the trade route? It's just, what route are you going to go here is going to be the question, because we do feel like that they're going to they're going to do something. They are going to do something. If they don't do something, then you're really telling everybody you're not even considering really pushing forward this year for the postseason. I feel like if you don't make a move, whether it be signing somebody that would be an outfielder or another starting pitcher or both, right? Or making a trade for the needs that you still have left, you're pretty much telling the fan base, I don't know about this year, guys. That's how I feel it.
Which is not what they're going to try to get across. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know what they feel internally, because we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Shoot, we don't even know what's going on behind open doors, because we haven't heard from Eric Itzenda.
Is that a thing, behind open doors?
No, we don't know what's going on in plain sight, I'm saying, because we haven't even seen them in plain sight. My fear is this. You're paying Tommy Pham for a first half with a team that was irrelevant in the New York Mets and a nice postseason run. He was really good in 2023. But are we capturing that? Is that lightning in a bottle happening again? Or am I now relying on track record? He's not a pup anymore, Jim. How old is he?
34-ish, 35? I don't know.
He was born March 8th, which is my son's birthday. They should be like best friends.
This is a favorite player right there.
So he was born March 8th, 88. How old does that make him?
Oh, that's 35. Because I'm 34. I was born
so
in
he's
89.
turning 36 March 8th before the season starts?
Okay, maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, 36-year-old that is on the downside of his career, that is, don't make no mistake, I'm not saying he's washed. I'm not. He had a nice year last year. But now I got to rely on like futures and analytics and what's the future of this player? Coming off all the injuries he's come off at his age, what would the numbers project him out to be? We should ask Dan Szymborski. He's not a $14 million player unless I'm crazy.
Probably not. You're probably right. Yeah.
So what are we buying? A shiny object.
Probably.
You're right. And it's like, you're looking at it. The truth is, you don't need a Jag, dude.
What if
you need an electric vehicle? No, you need a hybrid.
What if you find that shiny object at a thrift store and you buy it for $6 when in a regular store it's like 25. It's a good deal. So what if you get Tommy Pham
for $6
or $6 for like 5 million or 7 million?
Not happening.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, what if though? You don't think that that's a possibility?
Not if he made 8 last year and performed better a year ago than he did the year prior. So how did he get 8 last year if he was bad the year before? He's got to get 8+ this year, and maybe that's doable.
So take the money out. You would not want Tommy Pham on this team.
No, I don't know. If money's no object, I'm all for him. Just like if money's no object, Juan Soto's still here, but money is an object.
I know.
And they had to weigh that into the trade, just like they're weighing it all off season long. To your point in the update or in the fusion, they have signed one player that played in the major leagues last year all offseason. Their season ended October 2nd. Yeah. They signed one player to a $4.125 million deal with a series of 1-year opt-ins or opt-outs. That's what they've done.
Yep.
So are they going to then triple? They spent 4 on Wandy Peralta and 14 on Pham. I don't know. I don't know what to think of that if they do that, I guess is my point.
No, I agree with you. I'm just looking at maybe what this team needs and players that can fill those holes. And to me, it has to be a major league player. Like I agree. Just don't see it in this system. And I could be proven wrong, but also I don't want all of a sudden next year or not next year, but this year in spring training, we start seeing, well, Ha-Seong Kim took reps in the outfield today. Or Jake Cronenworth took reps in the outfield today.
You can't be getting cute.
Like what are we doing?
Yeah. Ha-Seong Kim is good where he's at and fills multiple positions because of Machado's health. He can play third. And listen, I'm all for Cronenworth playing second base, but he's not you didn't do that. That wasn't the path they went down. So yeah, I mean, it just feels like we say this each and every day. I mean, we're getting a little more movement, which is encouraging. But you analyze it, and it's like a rock and a hard place stuff, which speaks to how quiet they've been. They're probably going through that same scenario in their head. They can't be free spending. They've been very cautious. They're not the only team that's like that, and they're probably weighing. If we've got 14, how do we use it? Do we use it here or not? And why or why not? Do we trade? And they're waiting it off for whatever reason, and now they got to start making decisions because the season's going to start before we know it.
Yeah, 14's probably way too high. I
get your point. I mean, if you could do it for 9.5, would you do it? Maybe.
I'm just looking at the top end, and if anything less than that, you feel good about it. If they happen to sign Tommy Pham to a 1-year deal, if you sign Tommy Pham to a 1-year deal under $10 million, is it really that hard to? Is it really that bad to look at that deal and say it's not the worst thing in the world?
No, I would agree. I would not say it's the worst thing in the world. Would I be maybe skeptical of it? Maybe. I think a lot of people would be excited about it. It's kind of funny how quickly we forget. I don't think he was like the most beloved player.
No, there's definitely a couple people that may have season tickets behind home plate that maybe fabricated some things about Tommy Pham or instigated some things with Tommy Pham. But hey, look, if Tommy Pham's on your team, he kind of has that like Draymond Green feel.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like you hate him when he's against you, but you like him when he's on your team, even though when he was here, no one really liked him because he actually didn't perform and like legit almost got in fights with fans.
Pham can be polarizing. People want to weigh in. 877-767-4760. Then we need to get to Wandy Peralta, which is actually a move that was made. Tommy Pham is just out there in the ether.
It's rumors.
Just a rumor. So let's go to the phones. 877-767-4760. What do you guys think? You want Tommy Pham back or not? Do you want him back or not? Trevor, you're on with Jon and Jim. Thanks for calling in, man.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good,
what up,
dude?
Man?
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm just thinking, as a San Diego fan, diehard San Diego fan, best move for us at this moment is probably to think plausible financially as well and go after Profar. He's a fan favorite to the town. He can, he's a dual threat, offensively, defensively. He can go outfield, infield for us. Table the Tommy Pham thing. Personally, he's just kind of a butthead in the sports industry.
Thanks for the call, Trevor. I'm gonna have to push back on signing players because they're fan favorites. I just am. I want to win. If you're the Padres and if you're a fan, I think winning's more important. Fan favorites are nice, but also, are they going to perform? Now it is a interesting comp because if you get, like you said, if you get Jurickson Profar, you're probably going to get the same production out of him as you might get out of Tommy Pham.
Potentially.
So in that scenario, I get it. But from the notion of just bringing back guys just because they're fan favorites, I
agree. I mean, to me, like Pham is like souped up Profar.
Like, because he's
like, no,
bigger?
like he's a better version.
Oh, okay.
He theoretically, not a guarantee. It's like the difference between like a generic product and like the like brand name. Like, is there that big of a difference?
Like Safeway Select tissue paper or
like an actual Kleenex?
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're not talking Soto to Profar. We're talking Pham to Profar.
Yes.
So again, I'd have to look at Profar's numbers. He was bad last year, but then again,
and he played in Colorado. Like,
but then again, Tommy Pham was bad in 2022 and 2021,
right?
And 2020. So that I think it's a fair question,
but
yeah, I don't have an answer. That's why we're asking.
And if they signed either one of those guys, I would be fine with it, and I think it would be a better move than potentially
doing nothing.
Not only doing nothing, but giving that spot to somebody in your system that might not be ready, or one of the non-roster invites that they have coming to spring training for this team. But yeah, I'm not. You signed Tommy Pham, I think it's a good move. You signed Jurickson Profar, I think it'd be a good move. Just the money would be the biggest thing and be the biggest question mark. And if you could get both of those guys for the same money, like if you could sign both of those guys right now, John, for $6 million, which one you taking?
Between Pham and Profar?
Or like you get Pham for $6 million, or you can get Profar for 2.5.
Probably Pham. But it's a question. It's seriously a question. And again, if the disparity is 6, 8, 10 million between the two players, I'd take Profar. If it's a couple of $1 million, I'd probably take Pham. Peralta. So they added a left-handed reliever who's had nice numbers.
An actual move
with the Yankees.
Today, yes.
So, and it's got a series of opt-outs, but who cares about that? He's under contract for 2024. He's making like $4 million, a little more. What's interesting and where there was pushback on this is not because of his level of success. He's been relatively successful as a left-handed reliever the last 3 years for the Yankees. What I saw today is like, this wasn't your need, AJ, and you've got limited cash. Why are you taking a portion of your limited cash and putting it into your bullpen? Your bullpen is relatively shored up. Couldn't we have used that $4 or $5 million per year and put it elsewhere? Again, everything else being equal, you've really bolstered your bullpen, and that's a nice addition. But does it impact their ability to finish off this roster?
I actually really like the move. When you actually think about it, it makes sense to me from the standpoint of going out and signing a major league starting pitcher, which the rate is right now, probably not that realistic with where the Padres are money-wise. So how are they going to pivot and make sure that they can fill these innings that are needed this upcoming season? Load up in the bullpen. And if you have guys in your rotation like Waldron and Avila, and they're making 25 starts a year and you expect them to go 6 or 7 innings, that's a problem. But if you have those guys in your rotation and they make 20 starts a year each, and they're giving you solid 4 innings or maybe even 5, and you have the bullpen take over in those games, then it makes a little more sense. You're not asking a lot or too much out of these guys. If you're just asking, hey, we need you to go 4 for us today for Avila and Waldron, and we have everything in the bullpen that we need to get us to the 9th, if we have a lead, to me, it makes sense. Now, the biggest question mark for me, and almost the key to the entire bullpen, is Robert Suarez. If Robert Suarez is going to be 2022 Robert Suarez, pretty damn good bullpen, in my opinion. If Robert Suarez is going to be 2023 version of Robert Suarez, major problems.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, your point is valid where it's like, okay, bolster up your bullpen because you're unsure about your rotation, but has that played out to be accurate? At the end of the day, you still only have a set number of players in your bullpen. Yes, you can rotate through. Yes, there will be injuries. Yes, there will be promotions and demotions. But like, I'll give you an example. A year ago, Peralta threw 54 innings and 63 outings. He's between 2/3 of an inning and an inning on average every time he appears. So, man, if you've got 1 or 2 starters on average going 4 2/3 innings, you're asking a lot, even if you have a good bullpen covering those innings, because now you're covering those innings. But what happens when you're in meaningful games and you've got leads and you can only turn to these players so often is my point. Like, just because you've bolstered your bullpen doesn't normally mean you're getting more innings out of it. You have a good bullpen, but you haven't stretched their arms out. Like, is he going to throw more innings next year?
More quality arms, the better. I think Wandy Peralta is a quality arm. I also think he's a much needed arm for this bullpen, because if your only two lefties this year are going to be Matsui and Cosgrove,
it's not enough.
That's not enough. You have a guy that hasn't pitched in the big leagues ever, and Tom Cosgrove had a really nice rookie year last year, but still, you need more than that. And if you're going to be facing Shohei Ohtani and Max Muncy and guys like Cody Bellinger, if he signs in the National League, is Jung Hoo Lee a lefty? I think he is, right?
I thought he was too, because that's what they were needing, right?
Yeah, gonna fit like the knees.
Yeah, exactly. Fit a knee. Jung Hoo Lee is a left-handed batter,
so you're gonna be facing some pretty big time left-handed bats now. You're gonna need some quality left-handers coming out of that bullpen, and Wandy Peralta, he's faced Shohei Ohtani before. He has had 3 really good seasons with the Yankees. Not the best, right, but still quality seasons with them, and you're going to need as many lefties as possible, left-handers coming out of that bullpen as possible that are quality guys. And I just think it's a really good move. It all depends. It all is dependent on what Robert Suarez is going to be for you this year, in my opinion.
Well, it was funny, not really funny. A year ago, they blew saves before the 9th. They couldn't get it to Hader with a lead.
That was a problem, yeah.
I don't know how many examples, but maybe close to 20 examples of that where they had leads that they squandered before the 9th inning. Well, you hope you're not setting yourself up for the opposite, where you take leads with you into late game situations, but you don't have Josh Hader anymore. And if Suarez isn't 2022 Suarez, and if Go and Matsui take time, then the harder your bullpen might be really good, but can you consistently close games out in the 9th inning? I mean, they were terrible in one-run games last year, not because of Hader.
No.
But this is like almost the opposite to me. It's like they've put themselves in a position where they can maybe maintain a lead in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings. Can they hold it in the 9th inning? And are they going to consistently turn to Robert Suarez to be that guy? And if not, do you have faith that someone else, Matsui or Go, is consistently going to hold that lead?
Now, you lost Josh Hader, obviously, so you needed to upgrade your bullpen, or at least get pieces in your bullpen. But these moves that he has made for Go and Matsui and Peralta and De Los Santos, like those moves, like you just said, signal, okay, we were in a lot of run-one games last year, and we couldn't be able to get it to Hader in the 9th. That needs to change. So a rehaul of most of their bullpen was probably on the priority list this offseason.
And that's what they've done.
And so far, that's what they've done. And
Soto deal,
Brito, Vasquez, like they have some really good arms coming out of their bullpen. It's just figuring out everybody's role upcoming year, and we'll see what Matsui and Go are going to be like. But to expect them to come in right away out the gates and performing at a high level isn't, that fair to do. So giving them time while you have not veterans, but, major league arms that have been in the big leagues for a while, getting those spots and easing in Go and Matsui, and hopefully Robert Suarez, takes the 9th inning, the bull by the horns there, and becomes that, closer that the Padres, signed just a year ago to be the, replacement to Josh Hader. I don't know, man. I view this bullpen as has the potential to be really good.
It does. Okay, so a year ago, the Texas Rangers won the World Series, right? I have that right?
They did?
They blew 33 saves last year. The Padres blew 28. And you say, wow, 28, that's a huge number. But when you hear blown saves, that doesn't mean in the 9th inning they blew the save. So there's other time you can't get it to the 9th inning with a 1, 2, or 3-run lead. Those are save situations. And the 28 blown saves by the Padres were like the 10th most in baseball. As in, it was a lot, but it didn't lead baseball. And the Texas Rangers actually had more blown saves last year than the Padres.
And how many of those were actually by Josh Hader? Not a lot.
Not a lot. I'll look it up.
How many times does this team in the 7th or 8th inning give up big time home runs, or, they're up by 4 runs and all of a sudden they're tied because Luis Garcia or whoever the case may be came in and gave it up?
Yeah, he had 5. He had 5 blown saves. He had an 87% kind of close/save rate, which is good. But he had 5 a year ago in 38 opportunities.